Hello, this is Scott Loomis, and this is a teacher's guide to using Wixie to facilitate student use. As the 2021-22 school year is upon us, the instructional method's still a little unknown as far as uncertain for what it'll be for next month, the month after that, and so on and so forth. And what I mean by that is, of course, are we going virtual? Is it still going to be in school? Are we going to see a hybrid model? Who knows? We're going to continue with a little bit of uncertainty, just like we had last year. But what's wonderful about Wixie is its ease of use both at school and at home. Something started on a device at school or at home can easily be picked up and continued on a different device at a different location. And the management tools are superior when it comes to you managing students' use within Wixie, regardless of any of those instructional situations. Now, Wixie has undergone an interface update this summer. There's a couple of sweet new tools that I like a lot. And of course, the integration options, how to use it for STEM instruction, how to use it with middle school science, how to use it for literacy with or fluency with our K and 1 students, which could be pretty big this year, even more so than others. Those videos and resources are available. Please do a search for them. This video is intended to talk about how to manage student work, how to monitor it, how to be sure kids are at least working on their projects instead of just telling you they are, which we know sometimes they're not. We're onto their tricks now. They had a few months to try to fool us with it. So that's what the intention of this video is, and let's get started. To begin, I'm going to return to the homepage. Wixie has undergone a small interface update, as I mentioned. It's very, very similar to before, and the students will see something very similar to this as well. There used to be a home icon here. We know you don't need a home icon at the home page, so now it just is where you can view your student work. And the menu over here on the right-hand side, which used to include like an exit door, has been removed. All of it now falls under your profile image, which includes logging out. The new menu, which used to be over here on the left, is top center, and it provides the same choices as before. If I do, for instance, a new landscape image, I go ahead and do some paint here, 111. Adding pages, which used to be up top, plus page. Now, this is the tricky one. You got to remember this one. It's down here. So I can do like page 2. We will see now with this new interface storyboard for the standard theme along the left-hand side. So it looks like based on my screen resolution that I can do about 8 pages and then start scrolling as well. But everything else a little streamlined in my opinion. Adding text, still very similar. Hello. My name is Scott. We're going to go with that misspelling or capital letter. And what's wonderful about probably one of the biggest changes as far as instructionally with Wixie, and see now it's bothering me, is that before you could have it read to you a text object, which it still does, but now it highlights each word.
Hello. My name is Scott.
Yes, it is. So I think this is great for listening centers, for read-alongs with kids, if they have to do something independent. We had a lot of people asking for this, and it's been in the works for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. So this is now available. This is something I think you're going to want to pick up. But text objects and all the changes are the same. Image library works exactly the same as before, as does the adding video. Now, the adding video, and my all-time favorite, still the coolest tool you got to be using. I don't care if you teach, kindergarten or 7th grade. Let the kids explain or justify or describe or pretend to be like first-person point of view. Do audio recordings. Each one will still allow you, Wixie still allows you to add one of each on each page. Each can last up to 5 minutes in length. So that's a 5-minute audio recording. Could be them rambling off the top of their head or reading a script on page 1. That's 5 more minutes on page 2, so on and so forth. The collaboration tool, team tool, is available here for kids who start their own projects. And again, if you need to look into collaboration, do some research. Just go to techforlearning.com, or under your profile pick is also a help menu, which has things like team or collaboration as the tool, or management or file organization, or how to insert photos and modify them. So the help menu is available to everyone. Great step-by-step directions. Another thing slightly different we see, if I choose a paint tool, a little more streamlined. You got your color choices and the expansion to 1,000,000-point color wheel there, but these are here, your brush strokes and symmetries. They used to all be embedded under pull-down menus or arrow options. Now, whenever possible, it's quite visual. I think this is a more sophisticated view. And I think if you're a middle school teacher and you think it's too cutesy, you just need to relax, because this is what productivity tools, especially ones that allow creative open-ended construction, look like. And I think it's perfect for your middle school kids as well. So if you teach kindergarten or first grade, the flip side of that, and you say it does look a little too sophisticated, just know that you can modify the theme. And that's under your profile picture. Switch theme will go from the standard to the primary. And what's wonderful about this theme is basically the options have been reduced. So if I go to pencil tool, I have just 21 colors to choose from, no million point color wheel, and I can only change the brushstroke, and I only get one type of brushstroke. Most tools can be difficult for our youngest kids because there are just too many options, way too many. And it's not like your lesson objective is to choose 3 different brushstrokes. It's to, draw a picture when you retell a story or to do something along that line. So we simplify the tool, give them less options, and ideally this will help them be more productive. So you as a teacher can switch themes. If you're a library media specialist and you're working with 4th grade one class and then kindergarten the next, if the kindergarten's at primary, you can switch straight away. But know that all teachers, back to your profile image, lots of good stuff, under settings, you would have the option of switching the themes. See, it says my accounts and classes. I can say, all right, I want to switch the 1st grade class to primary. It looks like it already is there. Maybe I want to switch Mr. Loomis's class to primary. That's all you got to do. And now when they log in and look at everything, it's the primary view. So a couple clicks, there's no save, you just go away, it's there. And you now have those kids working primary. So if you're a kindergarten teacher, you may choose to do this, while your colleague may not. And that's completely up to you. But I do like this for KN1 and possibly 2. I know we're kind of in a unique year based on what happened last year with learning towards kids' instructional mentality, their kind of independent ability, so on and so forth. So I'm going to return back to my projects and talk about templates and assignments. And this is where you really get into some powerful stuff on the teacher management side of Wixie. There are over 3,000 existing templates in Wixie. Most of them, like for instance, if I go to, instead of the grid view, which is my favorite, you can go to the detail view. Most of them have targeted age ranges. So like this art choice board is just for grades 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you're a kindergarten teacher, you won't see this one. Neither will students. So although there's 3,000 templates, the point I'm trying to make is that you get the ones that are tagged to your grades. So it's a little streamlined for everyone. What's wonderful is that you have the ability to find all these templates, and so do your students. So they can go get these templates. I wouldn't tell a kindergartner to go find a template. I would assign it to them, which I'm going to show you. But a 5th grader may go into graphic organizers, or a 6th grader may go into graphic organizers and choose the one that's appropriate for them. Or they may go into general, for instance, and they may go down and choose as part of a some science project, may choose a spiral bound notebook, or maybe these fancy other notebooks too. So, give them choice, let them buy in a little bit more. I think that's a big thing for middle school groups, is them buying in, but they can get these as well. You also have templates, more than likely, under your district folder. Tech for Learning, we are the fine folks from Tech for Learning that bring you Wixie. So we have a Tech for Learning district just for demonstration purposes. Ideally, you have some folders in here, or files in here, and maybe folders, because the district personnel, curriculum office, CNI, maybe summer curriculum writers, or even resource teachers have placed them in there, and everyone in the district can see that. Not students, just teachers. So even if you're a library media specialist, talk to your coordinator and see if you give them a couple of templates, they will share in the district folder, because that's another way to do it. And you can share, by the way, by just copying the URL. It's the easiest way to share, is to just open up the project and copy that URL and put it in an email. So whether it's a colleague at another building or your coordinator, as I mentioned, super easy to do. And this is great because then they're endorsed too, and ideally they're aligned to a specific lesson as an alternative assessment. It's just awesomeness. The school folder, and again, when you highlight it, you can actually go to the plus sign and choose folder. And again, mine says plus because I'm in the primary view. If I switch theme, which I'll do, we're a little bit different layout there. The school folder, you can add additional folders to, and maybe even each teacher under those. But you can place templates in the folders for students to access. You might do like a reading response log that the kids can get the entire year, because they're going to get it 30 times, and just go grab it every single time. Again, if I teach 6th grade library media or maybe art, I could put one template in the folder and have all my 6th grade classes go get it instead of assigning it to each class. So you can put something in here and they go get, or you can assign it. And let's start talking assignments. So I'm going to go into templates. I'm going to go into language arts, and I'm going to go into reading and alphabet principle. I know we're getting some basic stuff here, but let's take a look, for instance, at the, there we go, sort the rhymes. Any template that you want to examine more closely, you got to click on the thumbnail. And this is a full view of it with possible instructions. Instructions can be read as well, or you can actually record your voice reading it. Do I like this as is? Do I want to assign it? Or do I want to customize it? That's your choices, basically. If I press assign, because I like it exactly as it is, which these sort and sequence might be pretty easy. I have a choice. Do I want to assign it to all kids? Do I want to assign it to just a couple kids? Maybe I grouped my kids. Do I want to go to this class or a different class? Because I have different class choices. It defaults to 30 days, but know that once they open it, they get their own copy, so you don't necessarily go to 30 days. And of course, if you're a good doobie and you're planning ahead, this is going to start on Monday. And honestly, if they don't have it by the end of the week, that means they're absent or something, and I can work with them. I got to go back to August. So the moment I press save is the moment the file is available to whatever classes I've selected. This is how you can easily do like all your 6th grade classes. If today is the day that it starts, like today's, for me, August 4th, if I press save, this file is instantly available to the students. There's no like overnight processing. So if I'm having one of those moments, if I forgot to assign it or whatever, I just tell the kids to relax for a second and I assign it. So I'm going to press save. And for the students, what's wonderful, especially for our little kids or the 3rd graders that are acting way too little, even the 4th graders, I'm going to log out, because the last year are still a little bit more, they're not as independent as I want them to be. What's wonderful about assignment for student, I'm logging into student account, is it is the very first thing they see up top. This is the primary view. So I assigned that class. See, I can't switch themes as a student. But when I click on it, I can work on it. I'm going to grab a couple words. Fun. And again, no instant feedback. Research shows kids don't even read directions. They just click and drag till it sticks or it applauds or whatever. So I work on it. If this was something more sophisticated, let's say it was a 5th grade or 4th grade activity on your famous state person, so famous Virginians or famous Texans, if it was assigned on Monday and it was due on Friday, the kids have the option, not under primary view. Oh, see, now I got to log out. Under file, they could actually mark it as complete if they're in the standard theme. And that's like turning it in. So it's great if kids want to turn it in on Wednesday, let you know they're done. You can even take a look at it, maybe unfinish it or unassign it. Or reassign it so the kids can continue to work on it again. But the students have, not teachers, the ability in the file menu to mark it as complete to show you they're done. Now, why that is important, I'll log out. Although, let me return to the home section. You'll notice that the assignment is no longer up top. It's now part of my projects because I did the assignment, I worked on it. I can continue to open it again and continue to work on it. That's kind of up to me. So let me log out. There it is. Log back in. What's wonderful about doing this is under the Assignments tab. And under the Assignments tab, if I open up this sorts, I assigned it to these 4 kids. Remember, I was randomly clicking. And I can tell none of them have opened it yet. So here I am in the class. The kids are remotely. And no one has their camera on, but they say they're listening. Like I said, we know all their tricks now. What's wonderful, if I go, for instance, to that other class, so I'm going to switch assignments, or the other class, keep the same assignment. I see that Jamie Loomis has opened it, but no one else has. So I'm calling out kids. Scott 14, Scott 18, Scott 22. Why haven't you opened your template there? Are you not there? So why have you opened your template yet? So you would be able to see if they started or not. If they turned it in, it'll say complete, followed by a date. Right? So that's how you can manage the work. When you're ready to grade the work, you go home and to Students tab. And basically you choose your class, you choose your kid. If I open up this, and this is a literature connection, one off of Things That Are Most in the World. It's by Judy Barrett, the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs lady. It's a repetitive thing like you might see with any kind of Dr. Seuss book or Spilt Milk or something like that. So they've created their own additional pages, recorded themselves narrating it, which I kind of like for the primary grades. For you as a teacher, you can see the work. You can't modify it. You can move from page to page, and then you're ready to leave feedback. And all you do is you click on the plus, and you can leave them feedback. And that feedback will show up over here on the right side. This is right beside their page, where their paint tools are. But this is the most important thing. You got to mark the project as complete if you grade it. Because let's say it's a great project and you can't, or it's a terrible project and you can't wait to show it to mom and dad at a parent conference. Your child is unfortunately making no effort whatsoever. And they say, what do you mean? They tell me they're working, they look like they're working so hard. Well, every time the parent turns around, of course, they're playing a game on another website. But you would have the sample and be able to show them. If it's that great sample, what you don't want to have happen, like an IEP meeting sample or something like that, if you leave feedback for it or just look at it and you do not mark it as complete, the student can log into it at home or whatever and mess it up. And there you are at a parent conference meeting. You say, I can't wait to show you the sample. And you open up, it's just a disaster. So it's like sticking your foot in your mouth. So you want to mark it as complete so the project goes static. And you can change your mind and uncomplete it if you want to, if you want to have them make more changes on it, like I talked about before. But mark complete, leave a comment, and you're good to go. All right. So with that, I'm going to return back to the home section. We covered the assigning students. We did not talk about making assessments. You can make rubrics. They're kind of great and easy. I would go to the help menu for directions on that. And you also have the ability to showcase work. One other thing you might want to start doing, if you look at a student's work and say, this is fantastic, you can actually add a copy of it to your showcase. Now, this could be used like end of year for your like personal portfolio of what they did this year, but a showcase stays in from year to year. So I can now show this as a sample for next year. No one gets to do Tastiest next year because I want to show you this one. So you have these, your primo, however you want to say it, your best samples are available in your showcase if you put them in there. That's all you got to do to get it there. All right. My name's Scott Loomis again. If you have any questions, definitely check out the Tech for Learning website. You can reach out to us or examine our resources there. And with that, have a great day.